Okay, good evening, everyone. I know we are a couple of minutes early, but we're going to start the meeting. We have a couple of general items that we'd like to deal with before we start with planning. So with that, I will ask for a resolution dealing with our expropriation settlement, which is at the end of our agendas.
So,
Go out of camera first, please.
so resolved that as per section 152.4 of the Municipal Act, Council of the Rural Municipality of St. Clements does now resume sitting a regular meeting.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Strang, Councillor Sutherland seconds. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Now we can move on to the expropriation settlement.
Okay. Whereas the municipality has been engaged in land acquisition proceedings with Adsco Noble Canada Inc., the owner, for the purpose of constructing the municipal lagoon, and whereas the initial acquisition intent began in 2009, followed by environmental impairment considerations and cleanup costs, which have evolved significantly over the years, and whereas in 2011 to 12, the owner conducted substantial environmental remediation work, which exceeded initial cleanup estimates and was undertaken with a tacit approval of the municipality, and whereas in 2012, the municipality initiated and completed expropriation proceedings due to lack of response from the owner, and possessions of the land was taken in May of 2012, followed by the construction of the lagoon, and whereas various settlement offers have been made to the owner since that time, and whereas the owner has now submitted a settlement proposal of $497,500 and reflects the surrounding environmental cleanup costs and potential legal and expert fees. Therefore, be it resolved that the council and the municipality accepts the settlement offer of $497,500 from Adsco Noble Canada Inc. as a full and final settlement for the land acquisition, environmental cleanup costs, legal fees, and interest. And furthermore, be it resolved that the mayor and CAO be hereby authorized to execute the necessary agreements and documents for the settlement and conclude the matter.
Okay, can I have a mover, please? Councillor Bazarowicz, Councillor Horvis second. Any further discussion on this resolution? Hearing. Councillor Spicer, did you have a question?
No, I'm good.
Thank you. Okay, I have a mover, I have a seconder. If there are no questions, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. And the second item we have before we get into our planning for this evening is the hamper money distribution.
Okay, just a slight adjustment to the resolution, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
Whereas the resolution 2024-599 be amended to include a minimum amount donated to each hamper initiative. Therefore, be it resolved, council allocate donations received at the municipal holiday event toward Christmas hampers to both Abundant Life Church and Big Hearts Hamper Drive Initiative for 2024 to a minimum of $1,000 per organization.
Thank you for that. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Sutherland, Councillor Spicer seconds. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, now we can move into our planning, but before we start, I'm going to ask Kayla to read her, I guess, rules for this evening. I'll call them rules.
Sure, we'll go with that. Good evening, everybody. Council wishes to thank you for taking an interest in what is happening in your municipality by attending this evening. The purpose of these public hearings is to receive representations from the applicant as well as any persons who also wish to make representation on what is being proposed. We will first hear from the applicant and then from those present who wish to make representation. This will start with anyone who would like to speak in favor of the proposal, followed by those who are opposed to or object to the proposal. At the end of these other presentations, the applicant will have an opportunity to respond. Outside the council chamber, you will find sign-in sheets for tonight's public hearing applications. If anyone intends to make a presentation for any of the hearings scheduled, including the applicants, we do ask that you please record the necessary contact information on those appropriate sign-in sheets. If you have not signed in, please do so now in order to have the opportunity to speak to council. At the end of each presentation, the members of council may ask for clarification from the speaker on any fact or issue, but will not enter into a debate. At your opportunity to speak, please begin by stating your name, your full name and address for the record. Persons speaking must address the chair. If they have questions that they think the applicant should answer, they should raise them in their presentation to the chair. The applicant will have an opportunity to respond to questions when the other presentations are finished. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Kayla. Okay, so the first item we have on our agendas this evening is Variation Order 82 of 2024 at 32 White Pine Road. And I will need a resolution to move it to the Variation Board.
I'm just wondering, because we have some people on Zoom, might be worthwhile to go on Zoom so you can share your screen with Zoom. Zoom the email?
I can email it.
To Valentina?
Yep.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I got it. We still have 2 screens.
Yeah, you can just unplug that
So
one.
we'll move that.
Yeah, you won't need that, you'll just have to, yeah. No, because they're gonna have to connect into Zoom so
right.
that Councillor Spicer and other people on the Zoom are able to see it. What I'll do is I'll start the Zoom recording now
Okay.
for the public hearing.
Recording in progress.
Sorry about that. Should have told you that we were on Zoom.
Maybe we take just a couple minutes. I think we're just going to restart the computer.
We did send a link, so it should maybe refresh center Zoom.
You want to just reboot it? Just have an Outlook connection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nope.
If you're already on the internet, I can just give you the Zoom link information to go directly from Zoom.
We've already started that. Let's see if this works.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be. Computer's choosing to do an update right now.
Oh, of course it would.
Let's see if we log in here. turn off your volume.
Recording in progress.
Speaker and mic, that's all you have to turn off. Yeah. Okay, so I'll stop my share so you're able to share, Valentina.
To Stephen and Scott. Because she needs to share the screen.
There we go.
Okay,
you.
so before you start, I'm just going to say again that this is variation order number 82 of 2024, and it is at 32 White Pine Road.
Hey, Mayor, I believe I have conflict here, so I'd like to be excused.
Thank you. And you'll note that in the minutes, please, Heather. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to the planner to give their presentation on the,
I'll open it up for,
oh, did you not? I thought we did that,
sorry.
sorry.
So whereas the public hearing for variation order 82 of 2024 was adjourned on October 22nd, 2024, regular meeting of council, and whereas council has requested this issue be brought back to the December 10th regular meeting of council, therefore be a resolved variation order 82 of 2024 be brought forward.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Belanger, Councillor Sutherland seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Now I will turn it over to Valentina to walk us through this, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So, yeah, that variance application is in there. And until today, we have no new information. We got it today. We do representative reports as an additional. You in your reports have the old one, okay, with the old square footage. So this is a variation application 82/2024 and 32 White Pine Road. The purpose of that application is to reduce the minimum unit area for the principal building in seasonal residential zone. As noted, the proposal is to build a principal building of 396 square feet minimum, instead of permitted of 800 square feet by the bylaw. Here we can see an air location map of subject property and White Pine Road. And this is the previous applicant's site plan with the proposed dwellings. And I will show you afterwards the new one that we've got today. So all this information from today. Okay, so hope you can see that. This is a new site. I have it here, and I don't know if you want to see.
I think we all have it on our screens.
Yeah,
We have that picture on our screens.
yeah, really there. Okay. And this is the applicant's house front exterior that she will show and talk about it afterwards. And this is a floor plan too that you can use and see. And should council wish to approve the application, our RPD recommends the following conditions. There are two standard conditions. That this variance is limited to what has been presented. Any further changes will require new variance, and applicant obtains all required permits for us in municipality if required. That's it, what I have for you.
Thank you. Any questions from from council to the planner? Go ahead, Councillor Sutherland.
I think I heard, but it's the same square footage as previous?
Oh, no.
No,
Sorry.
it's gonna be more. It's gonna be 450 with a new site plan. But as I told you before, it's barely seen there, but it is that one. Okay, so we just got it today. That's why our reports are still with the previous information, but it's gonna be 450 square feet.
Is originally $396.
Right, and it's going to go to $450. Go
Thank-
ahead,
thank you.
Councillor Strang.
Madam Mayor, just for clarification, that does include the covered porch also,
Everything.
everything? Thank
Okay.
you.
Any other questions from council to the planner?
Just Mayor, no comment.
Okay, I believe that the applicant is in the audience, so did you have anything that you wanted to add to your application at this point?
Yes.
Okay, you can just come up to the podium.
Hello.
Hi there.
My name is Rachel Faulkner. I'm back today to try to share how I worked to meet council's requests. I'd like to also add that until today I was unaware that I needed to send the information, like the new information out, but I was just called today, so I got it out to Valentina right away. So all the new facts, I know they're just coming in now, but this has been like, since the last hearing, it's been part of the process. So I have actually some floor plans to pass out. Yeah. If you don't mind going to the house picture, then I can kind of go. Thank you. Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Is that the same as this one?
Yes.
So we've all got.
We've got all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've already got.
Oh, okay, you guys have that. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sorry. Okay. So, since the last hearing, I've come up over 20 square feet, I believe 24 to be exact, for the interior, or the full building structure without the deck. What we're proposing is, if you're looking at the floor plan, the plan without the deck attached, we're going to try to go for 420. We're proposing a minimum of 450, including the entire thing, a minimum of 450, just to have some wiggle room, because if you do the math on the house plus the deck, it actually comes like to 484. That's the hope, but I was told, I did originally draw up a plan after the last hearing that was just under 500, and came up quite a bit on the interior. And I sent those along to my architect, Sean, but I was told that with my budget, it was not realistic at all, that it just wouldn't probably work. I may be able to get close to 500 with deck, with 420 being the interior, or the building without the deck, but we're just kind of doing the best we can budget-wise right now. And Sean actually offered to do the plan that you're looking at now for free, so I didn't have to pay to have these drawings done up before this hearing. So that was very kind of him. And since the last hearing, I've been also talking with Sean and his, we had a meeting with his construction associate, Kenton, and we talked about expanding in the future and kind of what possibilities there are. And I was told, because of the simple design of my plan, being just kind of a rectangle, that it's really expandable in any direction, in any way. For example, if you see the kitchen, that wall behind the kitchen could be blown out to make way for a larger kitchen there. Where my bed is now, that could all be disassembled to make way for a larger living in there, and then that wall on the right taken out to make way for a proper bedroom. The entire back of the house could be completely changed, opened up to add for extra bedrooms down the road, even a sunroom if I wanted at some point. I don't have the funds right now, but I'm looking at my future. I may live on this property, who knows how many decades, maybe my whole life, so I'm kind of starting to rethink how this house can change and grow as my life changes and grows over the years. And this is just me starting out now, all that I can afford and all that I require at the moment. So, like that. I was also asked to, so the drawings also, I was asked to provide more details. So Sean's provided like proper wall lifts, if you are accommodating for insulation and all that, so that's all there. And I also wanted to add that I've taken some changes for my financial situation as well. I was renting before, but it was quite difficult to save as much as I would have liked to while I was renting, so I moved back in with family, my grandparents actually, since they live closer to my workplace. And I've been able to save for my 20% down, and I'm stowing away as much money as I can before the spring to save for permits. So ideally, I would like to start building in the spring if all is approved, and hopefully be starting my life and living independently sooner rather than living with my grandparents for the next few years. So I would like to be living on my own and closer to my workplace as I was when I was renting before, but be building equity as well. All right, thank you.
Thank you. I'm just going to see if council has any questions for you at this point in time. Go ahead, Councilor.
Just a comment.
Yeah.
Just a comment.
Yeah.
This is a seasonal residential zone cottage country. It is not Tuxedo, and it is not Charleswood in the city of Winnipeg. There's enough tree densification on this lot that you won't even see this house from the road. I have no problem supporting this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything? Okay, I'm just going to see if there's anybody else who wishes to speak on the application. So if I could ask if there's anyone else in the audience who supports this application and wishes to speak, please come forward and state your name for the record, please.
Hi, my name is Sean Cummings. I live at 904 Holly Avenue in Winnipeg, and I have a few documents here just to pass around for you to take a look at while I speak. So I'm a licensed architect in the province of Manitoba. I'm based out of Winnipeg, and I run my own firm called STC Architecture. I also own 75 Lakeview Drive on my lot backs onto the corner of Rachel's. Rachel approached me with her dream to design and build a home she both loves and afford, and I'm here tonight to try to help her achieve that dream and to help everyone understand what's being proposed, so your decision on the variance is well informed. So I'd like to start by saying that compact living is not a new idea. For most of history, people have lived in simple dwellings and have provided shelter and few comforts. Compact living as a movement has gained a lot more popularity in the past few decades, and even more so in recent years as people struggle to afford homes. The average size of a compact home is 400 square feet, but they can be quite a bit smaller, and they exist throughout the country and around the world. Compact homes are modest and functional and are designed to provide the essentials rather than luxury. Space is a luxury not all of us can afford. While most 25-year-olds are out spending their money on far less mature and financially responsible things, here we have a 25-year-old single female who's trying to build a home on the land she spent her life savings on, and to live within her means. If anything, we should be encouraging this. I would suggest that the 800 square foot minimum is a good general guideline for a small family. That size of home is set up for 2 to 4 people. They generally have 2 bedrooms with a kitchen, living room, bathroom, and storage. Single people generally are either living with their parents or friends or have a bachelor or 1-bedroom apartment, as the extra space isn't needed, nor is the cost associated with it. I've provided a floor plan of a bachelor apartment for reference, a floor plan of an 800 square foot home, as well as a standard floor plan of Rachel's home. If we look at the bachelor apartment and Rachel's proposed plan, there isn't much difference in size. But even in its early design, the proposed plan is laid out more thoughtfully and to provide a more comfortable space to live. If you take the bedrooms off the 800 square foot home I provided, you end up with something that again looks a lot like what's being proposed. Rachel doesn't want a bedroom in a traditional sense and doesn't need a spare one. She doesn't have access to more money to build larger. And in the last council meeting, it was suggested that possibly an increase in 100 square foot may make a difference in this proposal. But that's a 10 by 10 foot square she doesn't need. That's an extra bedroom. That's a bed she doesn't need to walk around, or storage closet she doesn't need to build. We're not talking about much space, but the cost is high, and possibly high for Rachel, and saving that $20,000 plus to afford it will take years. She's trying to respond to your previous comments and suggestions to the best of her ability, and will already be enlisting friends and family to help finish the home in an attempt to stretch her dollars per square footage. 420 square feet is pushing her limit to the point where she doesn't have a cushion for contingency. 400 square feet can be done with the hopeful addition of a covered porch that will bring it to 450. or slated higher. This is what she can do now, but there's the ability to expand in any direction as she saves more, gains equity, and as her life changes. All of this will be consideration when we sit down to advance the design. I provided a few examples of compact homes in a range of styles along with images of interiors to help understand the general living space of this type of home. There are also other examples of compact homes in the East Beaches area. I provided two listings of the homes for sale in the past 8 years that were well under 800 square feet. One is 472 square feet and the other is 364. They're not common, but they exist. With our economy and housing market, finding alternative strategies to help first-time homeowners afford a house is needed, not to mention that a reduced carbon footprint by building smaller is more sustainable. Even Star Building Materials in Winnipeg has RTMs already moves compact homes that their market spans both sides of Lake Winnipeg and further. And I've provided a printout of their Willow, which is a 432 square foot home. These homes exist. Variances must have been passed to allow them. And this is public information, but the ability to access it is limited to an employee's willingness to search through the documents. We're not asking for much. A fulfilling life shouldn't be defined by the square footage of our homes, but by the quality of the lives we build around them. Compact homes offer a way to rethink the way we live, and that a meaningful life doesn't require a lot of space. I'm happy to answer any questions you have for me, otherwise I will give the floor to the next person.
Thank you. Any questions for the presenter? No, it looks like we're good to go for now. I'm going to ask, is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to speak for this application? Come forward, please, and state your name for the record.
Thank you. My name is Wendy Faulkner, and I reside at 34 North Fortune Crescent in Winnipeg. At the last time we convened in October, one of the counselors had asked the planner if there had been any applications for under 400 square feet, variance applications for under 800 square feet, pardon me. And the planner was unsure about that. I have since gone through, went to the RM's website, and there are the minutes, meeting minutes. And after looking through quite a few of them and scrolling down to the variance section and reading them, I did find one. And it was for, the bylaw was a minimum of 800 square feet, and the proposal variance was for 480 square feet, and it was approved with conditions. So if I can submit that, please, because that's not. Let's see, copies here. That is my submission.
Okay. Any questions for the presenters from council? Go ahead, Councillor
Just a
Bazarovich.
statement, just because it's been approved in the past, we don't set precedents by these things.
Right, and
Each case is on its own.
I completely, I acknowledge that, I understand that. I think I only brought it because it was asked of the advice, and I just had to check.
That's fine, thanks.
And thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to speak for this application? Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak against this application? Can you please come forward then and state your name for the record? Okay, now is this the same presentation that was made last time? It's new information?
I wasn't here, I was out of the country last time, so these are my notes.
Okay.
I do want to point out that we have 4 more signatures to our petition. against it.
And can you state your name for the record?
My name is Jackie Brevard, and I live at 16 Balsam Cove, very close to the proposed teeny tiny home. I would like to give you some stats on Halcyon Cove. We are a small development, about 59 lots. Today there have been 30 homes and cottages built. Some of them are on double lots. 10 households call Halcyon Cove home. So that means a third of the homeowners live in Halcyon Cove. The majority of the cottagers use their cottages year-round, except for maybe 3 or 4. Halcyon Cove may be in cottage country. However, this is not a seasonal development. We have over 20 lots that have yet to be built on. There are a few lots that are for sale right now, and there are about 6 lots that have sold in the last 3 years. We are very concerned that if this variance is approved, that this will set a precedence, i.e. an open invitation for other empty lot owners to build teeny tiny homes in our area. Please explain why you say this would not set a precedence. Can I ask a question of anyone, or is that something?
Never has before.
Okay. After you say yes to one person on this type of variance, how can you say no to the next application? There must be a reason that there is a zoning bylaw requirement of 800 square feet on principal buildings. So that would be something interesting to know what that explanation might be. There's a new development across the street. If someone asked for a variance there to build a teeny tiny home, would that be approved? We have worked hard in our community to ensure that Halcyon Cove has not become a campground, as some new lot owners are under the impression that they can purchase a lot and then bring a travel trailer in and camp all summer long with really no intention of ever building. This has been an uphill battle for us, and now it appears that we have another battle to fight. I have pictures of typical homes in Halcyon Cove, and you can see, maybe we're not Tuxedo, but we have some good-sized homes there. If you care to look at them.
Thank you.
And I only took pictures of the people that signed against it, and most of those are people that live there year-round. We did get an email from someone that is also out of the country right now. She has signed the petition. Her name is Edie Wild. She's a longtime owner. And she sent an email stating that the original plans for Halcyon Cove, and you could probably ask Dave this and he would know, specified a specific square footage for properties that would be built in Halcyon Cove. And that is one of the reasons why Edie and her husband at the time decided to build there. So thanks for hearing me out. You've got a total of 24 people that are against this. I hope you certainly take that into account.
Thank you for your presentation. Any questions from council to the presenter? Go ahead, Councillor Bazarowicz.
Yeah, you mentioned something about it not being seasonal. You're not proposing a seasonal home, are you?
No, I work 15 minutes away, South
Okay.
Beach. This would be my primary.
But this isn't a camper, this isn't.
No, it would be on foundation, Ford Foundation.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else who wishes to speak against this application in the audience this evening?
I spoke before, I'd just like to add, because
If you have new information, you can come forward. If it's something that you presented at the last hearing, then we will.
my name is Gail Sabatini, and I did present at the last meeting. And I guess I would like an explanation too about, I know, don't know if that's forthcoming or not, but we also built for the same reason, in that area. We saw the plan. The plan was, for once in our life, we thought we were in one area that was just gonna be beautiful, and it is beautiful, but we've been fighting all along against trailers, both leeway in that, and now we have this going on. And I don't know how you could change a bylaw based on lack of funds, illness. There's been, that would make it, again, easy for somebody else to say the same thing. There's a lot of work, there's a lot of remediation work to be done on the lot. It's low, and there's going to be a fair bit of costs there too. And I don't know if they do environmental impact studies on the lot. They come to measure them out. I know they do. It's a very low lot, and so there's more to it than just putting up the cottage. If you do allow this to happen. That's really all. I just wanted to add on a few things, but we have had a lot more people on board with this. And
thank you for that, Gail. Any questions for the presenter? Okay, is there anyone else? Oh, so go ahead, Councillor Strang, sorry.
Madam Mayor, maybe not for the presenter, but I heard in comments made that there was a minimum in this area of Halcyon, is it Halcyon Cove? Was there that statement made in the development plan or something that they were building?
Mr. Planner, can you perhaps give us some clarification on that, please?
I just sort of picked up on that, so I just thought I'd ask that question. Thank you.
Good question, Councillor, and thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't see from the title that there's any development agreement on title, so there wouldn't be anything restricting that. I'm wondering if that's maybe a purchaser's agreement. Sometimes the developers will have something, it's not actually registered on the title. So we've seen that sort of thing.
I think what they're saying, it's in our development plan, is that correct?
No, like this, I don't know if you know.
Where are you getting the information from is what I want to know.
Because they were given, this development was developed by Dave Forbes, okay? I don't know if you all knew that, but it was. And everybody was given the original owner. I'm not an original owner. I've been there for over 20 years, but I'm not an original owner. So when those people bought, they were given, do you have one?
I had one, I don't know where it is now, but when we bought our property, our lawyer handed us over the copy of the agreement for the property up there, and it said that bungalows were a minimum 800 square feet, and then 2 stories were a minimum of 1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were young too.
Yeah,
we had to wait 5 years to get enough funds to do it.
Okay, I don't want everybody talking from the audience. If you want to come and give us some more information, you're more than welcome to come to the podium. Go ahead.
Madam Mayor, if I could.
Yeah.
Documents that may be handed over as part of a sale of an agreement or anything, there's only, what the planner is talking about is when a subdivision occurs and there are specific requirements, developers will put that as a development agreement on the property. That means it's registered on title of the property and it sits with the property no matter how many times that property is sold. None of these properties have a development agreement. Now, there might have been a development plan or a plan overall saying this is the vision, but the vision might have aligned itself with the existing zoning, saying this is what the minimum requirements are, this is what it's seen as, but that doesn't mean it's a development agreement, that's a legal document. That's what the planner is talking about. There's no legal documents telling you that it must be that way. There are some subdivisions in this municipality that have legal agreements that say some are minimum 1,200 square feet, minimum 2-story, any of those kind of things. None of this has none of that, is what the planner is saying. So I just wanted to clarify. I appreciate you might have some piece of paper that might have said that. What I'm saying is, so it could be, it's,
you have anything that you want to add, dear?
No, that's absolutely correct.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna ask once more if there's anybody who is in the audience who would like to speak against this application that hasn't spoken or has totally new information.
Lady in the corner.
I was just wondering if the variance went up, saying the variance was put up there for, to build a 395 square foot home in an area that requires 800 square feet minimum. Wasn't that what was said on the variance?
Do you want to say that again, Gail, please?
The variance itself on the property says a variance to allow a building to be put on this property of 395 square feet, where 800 square feet is required.
And that is why we're here for the variation. If we look at the plan that was presented, the total area is 420 square feet, because I believe that when this application came before council in October, that at that time council asked if they could perhaps make the building bigger, which they have. And it's the 420 square feet plus the covered porch.
Which doesn't regularly get included into the square footage of that. I was here at that first meeting.
Right.
But that's what it says on the variance, 395 where 800 square feet is required.
But we're saying that it's now 420. What was presented today, can you go back to the one before this?
I don't think that's the point, Madam Mayor, if I could.
I think Derek
answer
has
the
something to
question.
say too.
What you're asking about, there's a zoning bylaw. Zoning bylaw has minimum requirements. That's not the same point as the development agreement we were talking about earlier.
No.
Now, zoning bylaw has minimum requirements. Every component of the zoning bylaw, it has a variance or a conditional use that you can apply to. That's a right of every property owner. On any property that you have, you can apply for a variance. And as the councillor stated earlier, every one of those is seen on an individual basis and reviewed, and a discussion happens at council. That's what's happening here. An application was made to vary. They identified a specific amount. They came and presented here. Council looked at it and said, we think that you should go back and see if you can make it bigger and come back, and then we'll make our final decision. They went back into the design, and that's what we're reviewing today. Have I explained myself properly?
You could explain it. I guess it's proper.
I see that.
I don't know.
I'll take that.
I don't know if I agree with it.
I'll take that.
I just, you'll have to come to the podium, and Councillor Spicer would like to speak also, so bear with us for a moment, Councillor Spicer. And you want to state your name for the record, please?
My name's Diana Holloway. I am at 23 White Pine Road. That is where my seasonal dwelling is. I've been explaining what the developer agreement is, which, yes, my husband and I were young as well when we bought the property, and we adhered to the rules, I guess you would call them, for the area, for the development, and stayed built to adhere to those. And no, we didn't start off with everything finished. We built a shell and took it from there, but we did adhere to the constraints of the developer's agreement. And we understand that, yes, the minimum requirement is 800 square feet. And I think what everybody's just trying to say is, we've all adhered to that, and this is a property that you do see from the road. It's a 90 by 160 foot lot. Yes, you see it from the road. Everybody's going to see it driving by. And I have nothing against a young person trying to move forward with their life and building something. But also you have to understand that there are certain specifics that go along with building a property and having that property, and just what the neighborhood is. So that's all I really have to say.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Councillor Spicer, if you wanted to chime in now, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I believe this application was first heard on October the 22nd, is that correct?
That is correct. It was the 27th.
Yeah.
Okay. I have left the meeting before the planning meeting started, so I do not think I can vote on this application.
All right, okay. Okay, thank you for that, Councillor Spicer.
Thank you.
Okay, I will ask once more, is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to speak against this application? Any members of council have any further questions for the applicant or the planner? Is council ready to deal with this application?
Yes.
Yes.
Applicant gets addressed.
Oh, okay. Yes, did you have something you wanted to add? Just come back up to the podium if you don't mind.
Yeah. Thank you all. So I just wanted to add, I know that photos were brought in of some of the larger houses in Halcyon Cove. I didn't want to provide photos of some of the houses because I didn't think it would be respectful to some of my neighbors, but I will just vocally say that when you do first enter Halcyon Cove and you drive in, the first house on the left has a tarped roof. It's a very small place. I hate to say it, it looks kind of run down. And it's had a tarped roof since I bought the land, since I first went there, and it still does to this day. The next house you see is also a very small house. It has a sign that says F Trudeau, but I won't say the full word, right out front. Through walking through Halcyon Cove, driving through Halcyon Cove, there are several smaller cottages, probably, over the minimum, but older cottages, maybe built in the 60s. My grandparents live in Lester Beach, and I walk around Lester Beach quite a bit, and there's a lot of small cottages that look very similar, just, painted bright colors that people probably put up just themselves, like family. There are some larger homes, but it's not like it's an area just full of mansions. Like there's a wide variety of houses in Halcyon Cove, some of which, a few which look kind of run down. What I'm proposing would be beautiful. That is the inspiration photo. It would fit the roof lines, the dimensions of the front when you look in the yard. Which you'd only be able to see from the driveway, as I brought photos last time that had, showed how treed it was. So you'd have to be standing in the driveway to see it. And that would be the style of the front porch, the roof lines, the length of the exterior. It's 30 feet wide across lengthwise. That's, a lot of homes are that. Like when you look into the yard, you're gonna see 30 feet across. Like, my grandparents have a star package that it's one of the larger ones with the very triangular windows, but very large. Their great room is less than 30 feet across. Like it's gonna have a vaulted ceiling. Like it'll look like a normal house, if not like a fairly, from the road, like a fairly large house. It's just not gonna go back as far, but one day it probably will. I forgot to add that my site plan, since I've redone it, I moved the house up another 20 feet, which is going to accommodate for additions in the future so that I don't have to run into applying for any more variances. I'll have room on any side to build on if I would like, but especially the back, because that, looking at it, is most likely where I would like to add on in the future. But I have options as I go forward. So I believe that's all I'd like to say. If there's any questions, I can answer.
I actually do have a couple of questions. I'm looking at, I think it's that picture. Maybe it's the other one that you brought in last time, where you have the frontage of 90 feet. So on this one that I'm looking at, I'm showing from the frontage of your property to the cottage, it's 105 feet.
Yes.
Have you moved that forward a little bit now?
Yes, so it's coming 20 feet forward.
Okay, and my other question would be, is if you were walking or driving along White Pine Road, can you see right to where your building is going to be from the road?
I would say walking, driving, not really. As I drive by, I mostly just see the trees in the front. If you were to drive into the driveway and it kind of veers a little left, you might be able to see in. I mean, you would be, I'm sure, if you drive in.
Right.
But up on the road, I don't believe so, no.
Okay, any questions, any further questions? Okay,
She wants to ask a question, but she can't, I think that we've already finished.
You have a hand up.
did you have anything that you needed to add that's new? Because I'm
Yes.
not going, because you've had your opportunity.
I would,
The applicant has the last,
I have a picture that shows how well you can see into that property if you want to look at it.
that's fine, I don't know, does anybody want to see the picture? Looking at the aerial photo, it does look quite treed, so unless they've taken away, like there's the aerial photo, and I'm not sure how you can see into that property with all those trees.
All those trees are gone.
Okay, if I
Okay,
could just
yeah.
correct something
was-
here.
yeah,
The
please.
mayor asked a question. This is not a debate about whether, and not a perception that the mayor is making a decision based on trees or what you can see from the road. She just asked a question of the applicant, so this is not a debate back and forth as a part of a public hearing. I'm sorry.
Okay, I don't think there's anything else that we need, did you have something that you wanted to end
I
off with?
guess finally, I'd just like to say, this is just a dream of mine to be able to live my life independently, close to work. I'm not in an ideal situation right now, living-wise. I'm very grateful to my grandparents letting me live with them, but they're, elderly and they deserve their house back. And my parents live too far from work that it's just not realistic. I'd have to kind of change my whole career trajectory goals if I was to find a different job. It's just, I would just really like to begin my life. My hopes just going forward. It means a lot to me personally. It's just very important to me. That's all I'd like to say.
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay, is council ready to deal with this application?
Yeah.
I think we've heard from all the residents who are not in favor of this application, and we've also heard from the applicant. So with that, I am going to ask for a resolution to please close the public hearing.
Resolved that the public hearing for variation order 82 of 2024 be closed and the regular session of council be reconvened.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Bazarowicz, second, Councillor Belanger. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, what is the wish? Does council want to deal with this application?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Whereas the applicant owner tax roll number 699532 legally described as Lot 3, Block 2, Plan 2167-1 and located at 32 White Pine Road has made an application for variation order number 82 of 2024. Minimum unit area principal building 800 square feet to minimum unit area principal building 450 square feet. Purpose to reduce the minimum unit area for the principal building in order to allow for a single family dwelling. Therefore be it resolved variation 82 of 2024 be approved with the following conditions. The variance is limited to what has been presented in this application. Any further changes, replacements, or additions would require new variance approval. 2, the applicant owner obtains all required permits from Red River Planning District. Approval shall expire if not acted upon within 12 months of date of making.
Thank you for that. Okay, so Councillor Spicer will not be voting on this, nor will Councillor Horvis, as he declared a conflict. Councillor Spicer was not at the public hearing the first time. So with that, I will ask for a mover for the resolution, please. Councillor Boulanger, Councillor Sutherland seconds. Any further discussion from council? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, the next application on our agendas is Variation Order 103 of 2024 on Nanton Road, and we'll just wait for Councillor Horvis to come back into the council chamber and Councillor Spicer to join again. Okay, so we are going to deal with Variation Order 103 of 2024, and that's at 362 Nanton Road. So if I could have the resolution to move into the variation board.
Resolved that the regular meeting be adjourned and the public hearing be open for Variation Order 103 of 2024.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Strang, second. Councillor Horvis. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to the planner to walk us through this variation, please.
Sure, thank you, Mayor. So this is the variance application on 103/2024 on 362 Nanton Road. The purpose of that application is to increase the unit area and reduce the interior side yard, that garage accessory structure, in order to allow for the garage to be constructed in the residential zone. As noted, the purpose of this application is to build a garage in the size of 1592 square feet and 10 feet high, instead of permitted 28 square feet maximum and 15 feet minimum. So here we can see location map and place for the future garage.
Valentina, I'm going to have to ask you to speak up a little bit because some of us may be having a little.
Not a problem.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you, Derek. So as I told before, we can see here location air map and the place of the future garage and the roads. And here's the applicant's site plan with more detailed map from the applicant and the septic field near that and location of the future garage structure. And should council wish to approve this application, RRPD recommends the following standard conditions. Variance is limited to what has been presented, and any other further changes will require new variance, as also the applicant obtains all required variance from us or municipality, and municipality is required. That's it.
Thank you. Any questions to the planner on this application? Go ahead, Councillor
That's okay.
Sutherland.
Let's go back to the proposed garages,
To the
because it's, so the side yard is going down to 10 feet, right, instead of 15?
Correct.
Is there any reason why the garage could not be moved over to,
Too close to the septic.
Is that what it was? Oh,
If you take a look at the septic field.
no, you don't want that straight away reading that story. That's fine, we're good.
Any other questions for the planner at this point?
Is it a legal thing for a septic field to attach? Is there a certain?
There probably has to be a certain distance, but that's through environment, so.
I do remember reading that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Just so council knows, there's just a little bit of a typo on the PowerPoint. We had 1592, it's actually 1600. That's what the
What is proposed?
That's proposed, yeah.
Okay.
That's what's in your document.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to, if there's no other questions for the planner, I'm going to ask if the applicant is in the audience this evening. Do you have anything that you want to add to your application? Yeah, come to the podium if you don't mind, and just state your name for the record, please.
My name is Shane Stephanician. I live at 362 Nanton. Yeah, you had asked about the septic field. The minimum distance was 20 feet. So that's kind of why I had to encroach on the neighbor's yard. Otherwise, I would have to build it way in my backyard, which would add a lot of, well, travel, because I like to work on my vehicles in the wintertime. Parking, a lot more snow to clear for the driveway, a lot more gravel to add to the yard to make a driveway. Mostly a convenience thing, really, to not have it way in the backyard and having to build a 300-foot driveway or maybe longer. I didn't exactly measure it. As me and my girlfriend kind of measured this out quite well, and hopefully it works out, really.
Okay, any questions to
Thank
the
you.
applicant from members of council? Okay, I think you're good for now. Is there anybody else in the audience who wishes to speak on this application? Doesn't appear to be. If council is ready to deal with it, I will ask for a resolution to come out of variation board, please.
Result that the public hearing for variation order 103 of 2024 be closed and the regular session of council be reconvened.
Can I move, please? Councilor Strang. And seconder, please, Councilor Spicer. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And council is ready to deal with this application this evening? Okay, so if I could have the resolution for the variation, please.
Whereas applicant owner of tax roll number 309247 legally described as Lot B, Plan 51888 and located at 362 Nanton Road has made application for variation order 103 of 2024 from unit area 1,280 square feet to unit area 1,600 square feet, from interior side yard 15 feet to interior side yard 10 feet, purpose to increase the unit area and reduce interior side yard to allow for a garage to be constructed on the subject property. Therefore be it resolved, variation order 103 of 2024 will be approved with the following conditions. 1, the variance is limited what is being presented in this application. Any further changes or replacements or additions that require a new variance approval. 2, applicant owner obtains all required permits from the Red River Planning District and the municipality if required. Approval shall expire if not acted upon within 12 months of the date of making.
Can I have a mover, please? Councilor Strang, Councilor Boulanger seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. So we're going to move on. We have a few more applications here this evening. The next one I have on my docket here is variation order 127 of 2024, and that is on St. Peter's Road. And if we could move into variation board, please.
Resolved that the regular meeting be adjourned, public hearing be open for variation order 127 of 2024.
Can I have a mover, please? Councilor Sutherland, Councilor Spicer seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. And if you could could take us through the variation, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this is the variance application number 27/2024 on 82-126 St. Peters Road. The purpose of that application is to increase the unit area of the existing accessory building and also the number of accessory structures in the agricultural restricted zone. As noted before, the applicant proposed to increase maximum unit area and as it says it from potential letter for the storage shed and the number of the total accessory structures on the property to 6 from 2 maximum and the unit area proposed 24,800 square feet and permitted 1280 square feet by that zone. And here we can see an allocation map of the property, of the subject property. And here applicant presents a site plan with all those accessory buildings that we're talking about, all those 6. And actually, in accessory building area, that's going to be bigger for that garage, storage shed. Here we have an info about the structure itself that we proposed. And some other information for that case. Our applicant knows that applicant was previously approved under zoning bylaw 2370 in February 2000 for the construction of 1600 square feet for the same structure. Due to a fire, it was deemed that 50% or more of that replacement value of the building or structure above its foundation. The building or structure shall not be repaired or rebuilt except in conformity with the provisions of the bylaw and as outlined in section 53 of the Planning Act. Should council wish to approve this application, our committee recommends how to standard conditions that this variance is limited to what has been presented in this application, and now the changes will require new variance approval, and the applicant to obtain all the required permits from Red River Planning and RM if required. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you for that. Any questions on this application from council to the planner? Okay, is the applicant in the audience this evening?
My name is Coleman Seraphin. I live at 82126 St. Peters Road. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. I should actually start by saying that, excuse me, as reported, the building was burnt. It's almost a total loss. And there was actually 2 variances that were applied for with respect to the building reconstruction, because more than 50% of the building has to be replaced, or 50% of the cost of the building. And actually, the second, in my, I don't want to confuse the issue, but the second variance was actually for a 20 by 40 lean-to shed off of the east side of the building while this reconstruction was taking place. I might add that any of the other buildings on the property are do conform to the, there's no new buildings on the property. They do any of the other buildings on the property, with the exception of 2 smaller garages, about 60 or 70 years old, are sheds that are under 120 square feet. I believe that's the bylaw, 120. I don't understand how planning determined that I would have to apply to have 6 buildings on the property. These are all existing structures. And so, I mean, it really doesn't matter to me whether or not we're applying for a reconstruction with a shed and the other variance to have 6 buildings that should be grandfathered, in my mind anyway, on the property. But I just thought that I'd give you a little bit of a history as to why the variances were being applied for. So the initial variances were for the building and the lean-to.
Right.
And then the rest of them, I guess that would, you know, put them in, I understand there's new rules now, so it would put them in, they would conform to the new rules.
Yeah, perhaps I'm just gonna ask the planner to clarify for those smaller structures that are on the property, and I'm looking at that map that you have up there, and there's, I guess, 6 smaller structures. Now, are those all, how am I gonna say this? How long have they been there? It's maybe the best way to ask the question. Are they all older buildings, or have you, in the last, I'm gonna say 10 years, constructed any of these?
No.
No?
No,
They're all
15 to
existing?
20 years.
Okay. Just out of curiosity. Okay, I was gonna ask the planner something and then now it has escaped me. So I'm going to I see that Councillor Spicer has his hand up. You have a question for the applicant, Councillor Spicer?
I do. So just for clarity, so you had a 1,600 square foot garage and you had the unfortunate situation of a fire. And essentially what you're applying for now is to rebuild that along with this lean-to that makes it 2,400 square feet. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions from council to the applicant? Does the planner have anything that they have to add to the application at this point? Okay, I believe that the people that are also in the audience are here for another application, or were you here to speak to this application?
No.
Next one? Okay.
If I can add one
Sure.
thing. The purpose of the addition to the shop, correct, is to just get my, any equipment that I have out of the weather. But there has been some incidents of some theft going on, so I want to get everything secured. Additionally, the garage was fairly full. I lost pretty much everything. And so I'm taking steps now. It still hasn't been even, it hasn't been, the rebuild hasn't even started. But it was a significant loss. But I want to declutter the garage and get everything under lock and key and just provide some security, but also to have some of the more expensive equipment, tractors, garden equipment, whatnot, out of the weather.
Okay, thanks for that.
Thank you.
Okay, if council's ready to deal with this application, I would ask for a resolution to come out of the variation board.
Resolved that the public hearing for variation order 127 of 2024 be closed and the regular session of council be reconvened.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Sutherland, Councillor Gazarow, second. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And if council is ready to deal with the variation, I will ask for the CAO to please read the resolution.
Whereas the applicant owner of tax roll number 404,000, legally described as RL 155-56PE-5495 and located at 82126 St. Peter's Road, has made application for variation over 127 of 2024 from unit area 1,280 square feet to unit area 2,400 square feet, from number of accessory structures 2 to the number of accessory structure 6, purpose to increase the existing accessory building unit area to 24 2,400 square feet, and to increase the maximum number of accessory structures to 6 from the required 2 on the subject property. Therefore, be it resolved, variation order 127 of 2024 be approved with the following conditions. 1, the variance is limited to what is being presented in this application. Any further changes, replacement, or additions will require a new variance approval. 2, applicant owner obtains all required permits from the Red River Planning District and the municipality if required, and approval shall expire if not acted upon within 12 months of date of meeting.
Okay, can I have a mover, please? Councillor Horbus, second, please. Councillor Strang. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on, the next one we have is another variation. Now we're, I don't have the
132.
location. It's variation 132 in the name of Giason. And if I could go into variation board, please.
Resolved that the regular meeting be adjourned and the public hearing be open for variation order 132 of 2024.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Boulanger, Councillor Horbus seconds. All those in favor, opposed, carried. Okay, and I'll turn it over to the planner to walk us through this application, please.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. So this is a variant application on 132/2024, 12 Colbert Place. And the purpose of that application is to increase the building area in order to allow for an existing accessory structure to remain in the agriculture restricted zone. As noted before, the applicant proposed to increase unit area of accessory building to a 1,592 square feet instead of 1,280 square feet permitted by the bylaw. And here we can see a location map of the subject property with the road near that. And also here we can see applicant's site plan with proposed garage with all the add-ons on it. And should council wish to approve this application, RFD recommends to our standard conditions. This variant is limited to what has been presented. Any other changes will require new approval and variance application. The applicant obtains all required variance from us and the municipality if required. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions to the planner? Go ahead, Councillor Boulanger.
Can Madam Planner or Mr. Planner just explain this? I'm not understanding. It says the applicant applied for and received a variance for 1,560 square feet. Upon inspection of the accessory building, the inspector determined that a further variance would be required for the building. Why wasn't this all figured out at the beginning for the applicants? Or like, was something missed, or?
Go ahead, Darren.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No, good question. So last year they got a variance, they got a building permit and started building, and it's my understanding that what was being built was not precisely as what was proposed. So there's a little bit more there, and that's why the variance has to come back. So last year they got 1,560, so we need another 32 square feet, so they can keep what's been built.
So it was over by 32 square feet?
Yeah.
And they needed another variance for that?
For the 32, yeah. Unfortunately, council's approvals for variances are precise, so if you go over that, even by a foot, you gotta come back, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So I realize that what you're saying, it was an error on the builder, I'm gonna say, or the property owner. So did they have to pay then the full price for a second variation? Just curious.
I'm not sure what we charged.
Just hang on.
It looks like they were charged the standard fee, not double the fee.
Not double the fee.
No.
So they paid 2 standard fees for 2 variations.
Yeah, so one last year. and one
How
this
much
year.
is the standard fee?
It is $787.19 with tax included in there.
Okay, Councillor Blanche or
typically-
Councillor,
oh,
go
sorry,
ahead, no, go ahead,
I was gonna
finish,
say,
Eric, sorry.
the typical process is that if somebody, through a notice of violation is found out they're building a house without any permits or anything like that, there's a policy that they're charged double the permit fee. And if they need variances, they need double the variance fee as well. I'm not sure this is exactly one of those cases, right? It's more of I think it oops kind of a case, not a malicious case of I'm just gonna build something without any approvals.
Right. Okay, Glenn, you had something to say, Councillor Basil?
Yeah, just past experience when I was building, the plans I submitted were bigger than what was allotted. Just because I changed neighborhoods and things changed. So I got an in-house variance because it was under 10%. And it was a reduced cost. Because it didn't have to be circulated.
Great. Okay, any other questions for the planner? Okay, now I see there's one couple in the audience. Is this your variation or are you here for another application?
Another application.
Another application? Okay, so it doesn't appear that there is anybody here for this application, so if council is ready to deal with it, I will ask for a resolution to come out of the variation board.
Resolve the public hearing for variation order 132 of 2024 be closed and the regular session of council be reconvened.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Strang, Councillor Boulanger seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. And if I can get the resolution read, if the council is ready to deal with this application.
So whereas the applicant owner of tax roll number 312730, legally described as lot 9, block 2, plan 54308, and located at 12 Colbert Place, has made application for variation order 132 of 2024 from unit area of 1,280 square feet to unit area of 1,592 square feet. Purpose to increase the unit area of an existing garage to allow for an addition to an accessory building to remain on the subject property. Therefore, be it resolved, variation order 132 of 2024 be approved with the following conditions. 1, this variance is limited to what has been presented in this application. Any further changes, replacements, or additions would require new variance approval. 2, applicant owner obtains all required permits from the Red River Planning District and the municipality if required. Approval shall expire if not acted upon within 12 months of the day of making.
Okay, can I have a mover, please? Councillor Horbus, second, please. Councillor Boulanger. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, so the next one we have is a subdivision file S243066 at 72205 Heritage Drive.
Resolved that the regular meeting be adjourned and the public hearing be open for S24-3066.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Strang, second. Councillor Horbus, all in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. So if you want to walk us through this one, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So yes, this is a subdivision applications S243666 on 72205 Heritage Drive. And the purpose of that subdivision is to create a total of 4 lots in a commercial highway zone. Here we can see our location map with the subject property on it. And this is a SAM, a subdivision application map for the subdivision with 3 new lots on it, each one of 4 acres, and the residual one left close to the road. As noted before, the in CH zone, the required side area it's noted before, but I will note that right now. The required side area in Englewood is 0.92 acres and 150 feet wide. All proposed lots are in compliance to that bylaw, so we've done some analysis about that, and our opinion notes that following the proposed subdivision designated area agriculture restricted by development plan notes the minimum of 4 acres, and they have 4 and 0.922. All lots are consistent with development plan 2. The proposed subdivision is located within highway commercial zone, and the highway commercial zone minimum site of a 0.92 acres and minimum width 150 feet. All lots are consistent with zoning bylaw. Manitoba Agriculture and Resource Development mentioned in consistency with zoning bylaw and development plan that issue might be solved in the future by RRM. And based on all available information and analysis, RFD recommends that application be approved with the conditions. So the conditions are by applicant or owner submits written confirmation from the municipality that taxes on the land to be subdivided for the current year and any areas have been paid, required applicable fees been paid, and provide digital copy of the plan subdivision. An engineered drainage plan be prepared as per municipal services standards or for that to be submitted to RM, and by applicant enter the easement agreement with RM of some comments if required. Also, applicant submits written confirmation from Manitoba Hydro in that easement agreement has been entered with all the details that needed to be in. Thank you, that's it that I have for that case, Madam Mayor.
Thank you for that. Questions to the planner from members of council? Okay, and I believe that you are here for this application?
That's right.
Okay, anything that you want to add to your application at this point?
No, pretty simple.
Okay, perfect, thank you. If council is ready to deal with it, I will ask for a resolution to close the public hearing on this application.
Resolve that the public hearing for S 24-3067 be closed and the regular session of council be reconvened.
Can I have a move, please? Councillor Strang, Councillor Horvath seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, if council's ready to deal with it, I'll ask for a resolution to move this application forward, please.
Subdivision application S 24-3067, proposal of Splitzer to subdivide lot 62 plan 13652. Resolve that council
You
approve
might
this.
think you're on the wrong one.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's the next one.
That's the next one, sorry.
Do you know
Okay, subdivision application S 24-3066. Did I close the right one?
I think so.
So, yeah.
Maybe we should just make sure I close the right one. Let's close the right one just to play it safe.
Yeah, it looks like you did.
Yeah.
366.
Yeah.
Yeah, S 24-366. Heather closed the right one. I don't know if I called the right one. Okay, subdivision application S 24-366, proposal of Magnus to subdivide lot 6, plan 18904. Resolve that council approve the said application subject to the following conditions. Applicant owner submit confirmation in writing to the Romas Municipal commit that taxes on land subdivided for the current year, plus any arrears have been paid. Required applicable fees to be paid as per bylaw 8 of 2023. C, provide a digital copy of the plan of subdivision to the RMC comments. D, an engineered drainage plan be prepared as per municipal servicing standards to be submitted to the RMC Met for review and acceptance. Any applicant will enter into an easement agreement with the RMC Met if required. Submit plan of easement for drainage if required. 2, applicant owner submits written confirmation from Manitoba Hydro that an easement agreement has been entered into with Manitoba Hydro with respect to the existing and future facilities associated with the subdivision, and a plan of easement as required by the Real Property Act has been provided. Registration of this agreement will be included as a condition of the final certificate of approval. That's it, Madam Mayor.
Okay, can I have a mover, please? Councillor Sutherland, second, please. Councillor Spicer. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried.
So resolved that the regular meeting be adjourned and the public hearing be open for S 24-3067.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Bazarowicz, Councillor Orvis seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, call the question. All those in favor, opposed, carried. And I will turn it over to the planner to please walk us through that one.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this is subdivision application S24-3067 on 851 and 75 Church Road. The purpose is to create 3 lots on suburban residential zone. This is a location map of the subject property, a location map. Here we can see with those hatched black lines 2 proposed lots that will become 3. So this is an application map. It illustrates the new lots. The big one that was before being proposed to subdivide in 2, and that one of 2.68 acres. It proposed to be just aligned 0.8 meters right, just tiny slight alignment of the water line. So, as noted before, the purpose is to create 3 new lots from those 2 in already zoned area, and as permitted by law, it's 1.38 acres and 100 feet wide. All proposed lots are in compliance with the bylaw. And after analysis, our RPD notes the following. The applicant is seeking approval to subdivide subject land from 2 lots to 3 lots with slight alignment of 0.8 meters of the property line in between lot 1 and 2, and split lot of 4 acres to 2 new lots. Subdivision is generally in conformance with development plan and zoning bylaw. Based on available information that we have and analysis, our RPD recommends that application be approved with the conditions. Applicant submits written confirmation from municipality that tax has been paid, required eligible fees been paid, and to provide a digital copy of the plan subdivision. Applicant prepare a drainage plan or lot grading plan to be submitted to RM of San Clemente for review and acceptance as per servicing standards of the municipality. Also, by applicant to pay current utility buying charges for proposed lot number 2 and enter into development agreement with RM to secure connection and construction of the water and wastewater services for proposed lot number 2, and the letter of credit for drainage construction and curbside collection enrollment for proposed lot number 2. Also, by applicant to obtain all variance or permits for existing accessory buildings to us and RM if required.
Okay, thank you for that. Any questions on this application to the planners? And I guess the applicant is not here in the building, so if council so wishes, we can close the public hearing, and we can move this forward if we so choose.
Okay, so for a second time, resolve that the public hearing for S-24-3067 be closed in the regular session of council will reconvene.
Can I have a mover, please? Counselor Strang, Counselor Sutherland seconds. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, and if council is ready to move this one forward, I'll ask for the resolution, please.
Regarding subdivision application S-24-3067, proposal with split serve to subdivide lot 62, Plan 13652. Resolve the council approve the said application subject to the following conditions. Applicant order submits confirmation in writing to the Armstrong Commence stating that A, taxes for land that's subdivided in the current year and any arrears have been paid, required applicable fees to be paid as per bylaw 8 of 2023. Provide a digital copy of the plan of subdivision of the Armstrong Commence. D, applicant owner prepare a drainage plan and lot grade plan to be submitted to the Armstrong Commence for review and acceptance as per the servicing standards of the municipality. E, applicant owner pay a current utility buy-in charges to support lot 2. F, enter into a development agreement with the Armstrong Commence to address items including but not limited to, if required, 1, secure connection to construction of water and wastewater services for proposed lot 2. 2, letter of credit for drainage construction. 3, curbside collection enrollment for proposed lot 2. 2, applicant owner obtains all variances permits or for the existing accessory structure for the Red River Planning District for the municipality if required.
Okay, can I have a mover, please? Counselor Vazarowicz, Counselor Spicer seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried. Okay, the next application we have, there is no public hearing on this one. Go ahead, Counselor Strang.
Madam Mayor, I will be declaring conflict on this one.
Thank you. We will call you when we've dealt with it.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. So,
Like, will come on.
No, I couldn't figure out what the council was.
Okay, go ahead, please. Sorry for the interruption, Valentina.
So this is subdivision application as 24-3068 on 780-17 St. Peters Road. The purpose is to create a total 2 lots in suburban residential zone. Here we can see our location map of the subject property. You can see that tiny thing is going to be subdivided on the north corner. That includes houses, structures, sorry, and 2. This is a sum of the subdivision to show that actually the farmer is going to refi and ask to subdivide that area without any existing buildings on it from the cultivated field. And as noted before, the purpose of this subdivision is subdivide the existing lot to 1 year and the residual. The new one is going to be 2 acres and in 248 feet. And the residual will remain 11.39 acres and 251.80 feet. All proposed lots are in compliance to the bylaw. And our analysis for that application, the applicant is seeking to subdivide 1 lot of 13.44 acres to 2 with 1 year as a 2 acres lot with 248.18 feet width and residual lot of 11.39 acres with 251.80 site width. No new road proposed. subdivision in conformance with the bulk development and zoning bylaw. In Manitoba, hydro and gas have noted requirements to obtain permits and easements for utilities that will be required. No other government department raised any concerns. And our recommendations are that the application will be approved with the conditions. First one, by applicant to submit written confirmation from the municipality that taxes be paid, required applicant fees been paid, provide a digital copy of the plan. And the applicant is submitting written confirmation from Manitoba Hydro and Central Gas about the easement. And Manitoba Highway actually gave us conditions to choose one option for the second one. That by owner to relocate the existing access is southwards to the proposed property boundaries, or that SAM will be revised so the proposed property boundary is located down to the middle of the existing access for shared use. That's it that I have here for that subdivision over there.
Okay, as this is not a public hearing, are there any questions for the planner on this application? Go ahead, Councillor Boulanger.
I'm only assuming that at the very end of our packages, this map was put in by Eric, as it's not even from this area. When I scroll right down to the bottom, there's a map there that's not even having to do with this application.
Like page 26?
Yeah, when I scroll right to the very, very bottom, that map right there,
Oh,
it doesn't even belong.
Nope.
It's the comments from.
No, it's just a map of Victory Road. It's not even our area. It's just a map of some road area.
Well, it is ours.
Is
It's
it?
in Grand Marais.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just inadvertently probably put in there.
Oh.
Yeah, just. There you go.
Yeah, because the page before that is what we're dealing with. So it might have just got in there in error, that Grand Marais one, so. Because the page before is what we are dealing with.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Anything else? Okay, as I said, there's no public hearing on this one. If council is ready to deal with it, I would ask for a resolution to be brought forward.
regarding subdivision application S24-3068, proposal of Rural Living Inc. to subdivide lots 33 and 34, plan 2726, resolved, the council approve the said application subject to the following conditions. One, applicant owner submits confirmation in writing from the Arm of St. Clement stating that A, taxes on the lands to be subdivided the current year and any arrears have been paid. B, required applicable fees to be paid as per bylaw 8 of 2015. C, provide a digital copy of the final subdivision to the Arm of St. Clement. 2, applicant owner submits written confirmation that Manitoba Hydro and Central Gas that an easement agreement has been entered into with Manitoba Hydro and Central Gas with respect to existing and or future facilities associated with the subdivision of the plan of easement as required in the Real Property Act has been provided. Registration of this agreement will be included as a condition of the final certificate of approval. And 3, the following is a condition of approval. The owners are to choose one of the following 2 options. One is the owners relocate the existing access southwards to the proposed property boundary for shared use. For permit information, please contact Juanita Mulberry, or that the SAM be revised so that the proposed property boundary is located down the middle of the existing access for the shared use. Please submit the revised SAM for our review and approval. And statutory requirements under the Transportation Infrastructure Act. A permit is required for Manitoba Transportation Infrastructure to construct, modify, relocate, remove, or intensify the use of an access. A permit is also required for Manitoba Infrastructure to construct, modify, or relocate a structure or sign, or to change intensity of use of an existing structure, including alteration of an existing building within 38.1 meters, 125 feet control area from the edge of the highway right-of-way. In addition, the permit is required for management of transportation infrastructure for any planting placed within 15 meters from the edge of the highway right away.
Okay, can I have a mover, please? Councillor Corbis, Councillor Bazarowicz seconds. Any further discussion? Go ahead.
I'm a little confused. Do we own, is St. Peter's Road ours?
No.
It's not ours. We don't run the grader down? Okay. That answers that. No, I just thought it was Henderson Highway getting hit with these shared driveways and that.
No, this is a provincial road. It's
Yeah, I didn't know
508, so, yeah. Okay, anything else?
South Ender.
I have a mover, I have a seconder. If there are no further questions, I'm going to call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried.
Do you want to see this on Saturday?
So we can get out of here.
Tomorrow?
I thought you might have been,
Why?
just because.
No, I don't think I'm taking any day, any for tomorrow.
Okay.
No, I'm booked, I got morning meetings, then things I got later. I think that's it. Okay. And then Thursday, I was at that, I was at least one that I forgot to mention.
Oh, right, Thursday, yeah. Okay, I think we have one more item to deal with, and that is bylaw number 10. That's a zoning bylaw to rezone some property there, so I don't know who's taking the lead on this one. Go ahead.
Me too.
Go ahead,
Very
Valentina.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this is the zoning bylaw amendment application, bylaw number 10, 2024 on 1043 Jason Road. The purpose of that application to rezone that Parks and Recreation Zone to Service Residential Zone. Here we can see a location map of the subject property. And this is our current zone designation map with subject property to be rezoned from the blue one, PR, the Parks and Recreation Zone, to pink, Service Residential Zone with a proper alignment to the road borders. And because this is only the first hearing, we have no analysis to present. We need to gather and circulate all that to the agency. So our review recommends that first reading be given to the proposed zoning bylaw amendment, allowing a public hearing to be scheduled, and our office to conduct further research, analysis, including referring the application to competent agencies. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you for that.
Can I ask a question, Madam Mayor?
Go ahead.
This property that's being squared off, because there was a right-of-way in there, as I recall, if you do take the right-of-way takes the zoning of the property that it was attached to, right?
The right-of-way takes this?
Well, the right-of-way, that part of the right-of-way that would be in here, this would all become PR because the rest of it was PR. Correct?
That's correct. That's the way this current zoning bylaw is, so
Yeah.
we've included everything,
Everything.
just to be safe.
Yep.
That's the current boundaries.
Okay, got it. Just
Yeah.
wanted to double check.
It's not illustrated so nicely on this map because we can't select the right
The
of
part of
way
the
to
parcel,
recolor it.
yes.
It's the part, so.
Yeah, but general principle is when you attach a right-of-way to a property, it absorbs
You bring it all together.
together to the zoning of the property. Yeah. Okay. Can get the pink crayons later.
Okay, so any questions on this one to the planner? Are you going to bring the resolution forward, Mr. Administrator.
I'm not sure if I'll end the meeting this quickly.
Who are you trying to kid? You've got a long ways to go yet.
Resolved that bylaw 10 being a bylaw to amend the Armitage Glen zoning bylaw 5 of 2002 as amended be given first reading.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Sutherland, Councillor Spicer is seconding. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried. So that public hearing will be set up till not for the end of January or February?
End of January is what we're aiming for, so we can start circulating it tomorrow for the rezoning. We have a conditional use, and we have a subdivision as well that's already been circulated, so we want to bring them all at the same time. So council can just have a combined hearing.
And then there was the plan, there was also a secondary plan.
That's been done.
It's been done?
Yeah, you guys gave it
Third reading.
last month.
Okay.
Last month.
Last month, yeah.
That's going to lot for me to remember.
Yeah, so we can have a combined hearing in January, and then we'll just walk you through the order of how to approve things. That's the wish of council.
Okay.
Yeah, unless there's objections, then we might have to hold off on third.
If there are objections, then we've gone through this before. We will hold off on everything else, just to let that fall through.
Right.
But you can close the hearings for the conditional use and the subdivision at the same time, and you just kind of put them on the back burner until the rezoning appeal hearing sorts itself out.
Yeah.
So moving parts to it, but we'll all be through that.
Yeah. Okay, anything else that we have to deal with tonight? Oh, wait a minute, because I think Deepak is, do you want the camera shut off for now, or are you just going to let it play? Because I know what you're up to. Just hang on a sec there, don't, Deepak's trying to figure something out here.
And I'm going to shut the camera off.
Shut the camera. Well, do you want to adjourn first?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So let me bring up the document.
Don't run away.
Resolved that this meeting of council be adjourned at 7:48 p.m. December 10th, 2024.
Can I have a mover, please?
Yep.
Councillor Orbis and Councillor Strang seconds. All in favor?